Hello there, Internet. How's it going? Welcome back to the show. Thanks for clicking on this one. My name is Pat Dan, and today I have a little topic of discussion. Okay, a little down to business type work. We don't mess around on this channel, we only discuss the finest topics, okay? And today's is a serious one, not to be treated lightly, and I say it in this YouTube voice. It sounds like almost everything I say is sarcastic and meant for jest. I'm not jesting this time, actually, like genuinely. I don't mean to make it sound like I'm talking about something that's not serious, because it is quite serious. I just wanted to address the sheer amount of like toxic depression content that is available to be consumed on the internet for those in a slump. It's very easy to fall deeper into that. Let me just explain to you what I mean by that. Okay, I have a few points prepared, and by a few points prepared, I mean I haven't thought about it at all. And that's what this is for me to figure it out. Basically, this kind of start. Okay, I'll walk you through my beginnings of the thing that made me feel this way about the internet, that it's such a toxic place for people suffering from like unfortunate mental states. First, I don't know if you guys have seen the Netflix show 13 Reasons Why. It's a fairly popular show. And I don't know, it came out quite a while ago, so it's been in the zeitgeist and had its time. It's well past. We only talk about things after they're well past. Like when no one has talked about them for at least 3 years, that's when they appear as a topic on our channel. So 13 Reasons Why is perfectly in that category. Anyway, 13 Reasons Why had a scene in which it depicted a person uh taking their own life, and it was very like graphic and detailed, and showed like exactly what was happening. There was no class. It was not treated with any class or with any I don't know, with any respect, as I think it should have been. Probably, most likely. And also, like, why do you have to show the whole entire act? Like, can we not just infer those kinds of things? I feel like we're smart enough audience. I don't know, you're gonna feed it to us. We're smarter than you think, and we got a little bit of intelligence under our belts, okay? So I think we could have inferred what happened, but they show it, just full show it. Obviously, they did change it after people complained. They got rid of it, but like the original scene is still available. I wouldn't suggest watching it necessarily, but I I think this scene in particular was like a moment of my online journey when I realized like people don't care about how content makes you feel. Like they don't actually care. They just want to seem like they care. And this is pretty obvious when you think about it. Like obviously Netflix doesn't really like, they don't really care if people like off themselves because of their show. Like it really doesn't affect their bottom line unless they are called out for it and people stop subscribing to their platform. But they know that wouldn't happen. Um because like nobody would care enough. But this, I feel like 13 Reasons Why, it was marketed as like a mental health positive show where like, oh, we're bringing these issues to light. Like this is something that people don't talk about, and we're talking about it now, and we're giving it a place to 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 have some kind of exposure to the world, because people don't know that this is an issue. While that does seem like a valiant cause from the initial pitch there, it sounds like could be great. I believe that there are some potential good elements that you've proposed there. The execution did not appear to follow that mindset, and there was no there was no real educational content in terms of like realistic applications of things that someone can do to help a person in crisis. It was just a story, which is fine. You know, you don't have to be making big statements with everything. You can just make stories, but don't market your stories as not stories. If you're trying to make something more than a story, if you're trying to tell a message that important, like put some freaking backbone into it and do the required readings, you know? And don't just show a person going through mental distress and then say, yeah, we're bringing awareness and making the world a better place for having done this. Like, I don't think it necessarily made the world a better place. If I'm being completely honest with you, I don't think it did. But, you know, that's just my opinion, I guess. And this is something that it's most egregious when Netflix does it, obviously, because they're a big corporation and they're clearly like doing it to siphon your money away and your life force. But it also exists on youtube.com from like specific creators where there's content that like will only make people struggling with mental health issues feel validated in making decisions that could potentially like ruin their life, kind of thing. Like watching 13 Reasons Why is never going to make someone go, huh, maybe I shouldn't do that thing that I've been planning, that I've been thinking about. Like maybe that's a bad idea. Like it seems like this dramatization of a show has really painted it in a bad light and made me not want to do that, even though it made like this person the main character of their town and everyone cared about them afterwards, and she finally got, you know, the recognition from everyone that she wanted. um you know, that even though that happened in the show, you know, that's not what would happen in real life, obviously, because the show taught me that, because that's what happened in the show. But of course, you know, we know whatever happens in the show, it's not depiction of reality. Of course, we all know that. We're mature and we have smart brains that are smart enough to make those kinds of distinctions, of course, especially considering the fact that this would have been somebody who is not in a great mental state to make those kinds of distinctions. Anyway, if you go on youtube.com, there's like a plethora of people talking about their like how awful they feel. And I think in many cases this can be a great thing. Like it's a great place to vent and to vent your frustrations and get people to just hear you, because that's huge. I think is just having an ear to listen at times, even if it's just like through a screen. I think it can feel great for that person, probably, um, and I think there's definitely room for greatness there, but also for if someone was to see it and was like in the same position, I don't think it necessarily would make them feel any better. And that's the kind of content that you'd be seeking out, I think, if you were like, I don't know, I feel like you'd be like trying to find other people to 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 help you in this moment of crisis. You'd be like, oh, there's got to be other people on YouTube who know how to fix this. And then you'll see somebody who's just like not giving you solutions, just talking about how awful it is and validating what you already think, which, you know, obviously great for the person posting it, maybe not so great for that person seeing it. I don't know. I just I really I sometimes I think worst case scenarios like that, and it paints the web in a dark light sometimes on occasion. Um but you know, it's there, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, there are much worse things you can be consuming online, so I shouldn't necessarily be complaining, you know? There are worse things that a youngin can be indulging in. Um you know, not to say that I endorse those things, but they do exist. Um so you know what? You do you. and keep on that grind set, brother. I did find a recently I found a small YouTuber who makes like I don't know what you'd call it, like social, not social commentary, just like life commentary videos about how he's feeling and stuff, and like where he's at mentally, and like what he's going through, um and occasional advice for the viewer. um but I found one of those channels and I was like, oh, this guy actually seems like low key chill. Like he was being super open and honest, and he was like, yeah, like here's my childhood, here's how it went down, like here's how I feel right now, here's why I feel this way, and here's like what my plan is to get out of this rut. And I was like, oh, this guy seems like raw. Like I feel bad because he seems like he just wants somebody to talk to. And then I saw that he had a Discord. I was like, oh wait, let me see like if this is, if this is all true to self, or if this is like YouTube bait for the poor souls who are looking for a friend online. So I joined the Discord, of course, um, and I hunted around in the channels for a brief moment. I looked and tried to find something that that could give me some insight, further insight into this guy's personality. I found various comments that he had made, um, not necessarily bashing the not necessarily bashing the LGBTQ plus community, but indirectly bashing them. Like it wasn't directly saying like, oh, anybody, he wasn't outright just saying gay people suck, but he was saying it in more nuanced language that didn't necessarily put it up front and center like that. And I was like, okay, never mind. I don't want to be in the server anymore. Anyway, that was just a little story for you. He was also very weird about women. He was like he I don't under it's so sad when you see the people, like the dudes who are so detached from reality, and they literally think that women are a different species. Like he was like, "Oh, women just want a guy who will order them around and tell them what to do. They just want a guy who is able to tell them how to live their life and give them guidance. That's what they want." And it was like a very I, I'm sure there are people like that that exist. I'm sure someone in the world wants that from a partner, and I'm not gonna say that that is, the vast majority of what people want. I can't speak on that, but regardless of whether it's the majority or not, to generalize and say that that's every single person is just not true. Like it's impossible, in fact, and I don't know where you could get the notion that that could even be feasible. Like, how is it possible that like an entire half of the human population thinks the exact same way? I just don't understand how that would be in the cards for humanity as it stands. We don't have that kind of teamwork or cohesion necessary. Um, and at least from what I've seen, I don't know. Communities of people don't tend to be as uplifting to one another, and and we don't seem to work in tandem as we once did. I think we've well past our teamwork prime of I think tribal age humanity was prime teamwork. Like we were out there grinding. We never relented in the grind, and it was all survival, and it was all like, let's get it, bro. Let's go. We got this. We got to work together as a team. Obviously there were betrayals, but like we had no choice but to work together, because if we didn't, we'd all be dead. So that I mean that's a good encouraging factor. Um, you don't see that nowadays. Nowadays people are just like trying to win the race. It's not so much about bringing other people with you because they're going to help you out in the long run. It's more about, I need to beat these guys in the race that is life so that I can come out on top of these bozos because they're my competition. I feel like we see everybody else as competition nowadays, and it's all about like winning. It's all about number one, which is cool. Also, that is actually, now that I think about it, that is one of the things that he talked about. So the guy that I found on YouTube, he did have some interesting takes that I did find somewhat agreeable. Like that's something he talked about that I was like, oh, you know what? He's actually based. Like the guy knows what he's talking about. He also was saying this is really sad for me that that not only that people say this, but that I agree with them, that you can't trust anyone but yourself. And when I hear it at face value, I'm like, oh, that's like lame and sad. Like, why would you think that? But when I really sit and think, I'm like, yeah, like if we're being honest with ourselves, there's so many like there's so many haters out there who are just trying to get us down. And if we put our faith in others that we don't know can be trusted, it's a quick rush to despair. It's a slippery slope to failure, I would say. Um, and it sucks that that's true, because I really want it to not be. I really want to be like, I really want to be able to say, bro, you're an idiot. Like, you can trust people. Like, there are good people in this world. But I can't. I can't say it because it's not true. I wish I could be a contrarian on that point. That's one point that I don't think I can. On everything else, I'm happy to play devil's advocate. But on this one particular uh, instance, I think it holds too much truth, unfortunately. The world is a hateful place. At times. At times the world is a hateful place. There are villains. There are villains. We're definitely detached from human empathy, I think, in many ways. Because I feel like, at least me, because I don't go outside and talk to people, I don't understand people. And I just don't. I think I have a distinct lack of social understanding in some ways that leads me to be a bit of a villain at times, and a downfall prayer, you might even say. This guy praying on my downfall is what you might say when you see me in the wild. Just know, if you see me in public, don't walk up to me, because I will steal your wallet. Like, you'll walk up to me and walk away having 10% less wallet. Because you know what? I'll steal your wallet, but I'll give back 90% of the cash that I find. I won't take it all. I'm not a monster. I'll take your wallet, but yeah, like I'll steal your wallet, but I'll only take 10% of the cash, okay? I'm not some kind of monster. What do you think of me? Jeez, guys. I can't believe that you'd accuse me of such a thing. Am I a thief? Yes, but I have morals, all right? And I wouldn't compromise those morals for anything. Anyways, how's your guys' moral compass? Tell me in the comments down below. Ding, 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 ding. Activating Rasengan. I don't know, man. I don't know why I said I I know that doesn't even make any sense. I've watched Naruto. Okay, I know. I'm sorry. I wanted to I just wanted to throw something out there. Evoke controversy. Something I've always wanted to do. Um anyway, this is the Netflix Corporation, by the way. This is my depiction of the Netflix Corporation, in case that wasn't clear. Um Oh, by the way, they added opacity. They added an opacity slider to Microsoft Paint. Isn't that crazy? Like, can we talk about how crazy that is? An opacity slider is crazy. Like, not only do we have layers, we have an opacity slider. Let's go, baby. We're moving up in the world. Netflix, we love ya. We love you. Everyone go subscribe to Netflix right now. If you don't already have a Netflix subscription, make sure you get that thing going. All right? Let's get 100 Netflix subscriptions from my channel referral code in the description, netflix.com/PatDanDraws. All right. Make sure you hit that up. And in any case, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so very much for your time. I've been Pat Dan. You've been great. And until next time, kick rocks, pal. I'll see you later. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye.